You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, a new housing development in Carthage is just the latest development to show the city's recent growth.
Also, changes coming to the Joplin Regional Airport.
And no changes really to the weather initially. Hot, muggy out there again, but rain is on the way. We're going to have a look at your forecast coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Elise Snowy.
I'm Chris Warner. It's just after 7 a.m. on this finally Friday in the 4 states here. So we've made it to the, tomorrow officially, the end of the first full week of July. And a lot of stuff going on in the 4 states. A lot of growth, too.
So, yes, a ribbon cutting ceremony celebrating a new housing addition by Ledford Construction Development. It's the latest in a series of new projects in Carthage.
KOAM's Samantha Walker has more on how the city is embracing its recent growth.
With the cut of a ribbon, another housing development makes its mark in Carthage, the second major housing development to open within the past month.
To have a portfolio like this and the housing and these developers and realtors in our community that want to build here and develop here is a great asset.
According to the Carthage Chamber of Commerce, these developments, along with various new business openings, highlight the recent boom in the city.
And I think it's important that those that are looking to get out of the hustle and bustle of a busy life to come to a more family-friendly type of community, we have that here to offer right here in Carthage.
It's the exact reason companies like Ledford Construction and Development are so ready to make an investment in the community.
The community, we like it, and we're wanting to make a go of it.
It's a beautiful area. We're from this area. We're from Joplin, Carthage, Webb City, so this is just kind of an area that we've branched out to, and there's a need for new homes in this area.
And housing is a need Carthage knows.
A housing study from this year found that Carthage would need more than 600 additional housing units by the year 2040 to meet their projected population needs.
That study goes on to say while the current volume of housing stock may suffice in the short term, there is limited flexibility for accommodating further fluctuations in demand.
To have these developers recognize that and have the land and seek out the land and those opportunities is going to help us overall fulfill that need. With that brings a lot of economic development. We become a lot more attractive to businesses and industries because there's places for their employees to live.
And that's something the Chamber of Commerce wants to see happen.
We're eager to have them open their business here. We have great restaurants, great industry. The jobs are here. Let us help you and let's get you moved over here.
A feat developers are working more and more to make happen for the growing town.
We're excited about it. We'd like to do what we can do to offer new homes for everybody.
Reporting in Carthage, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Ledford Construction Development says they already have several homes built in this new development.
Of course, a lot of growth going on in the area and across the 4 states as a whole. So people finding that it's really not that bad here. And it really isn't that bad here. I mean, I've lived here all my life. And I'm still here.
There you go.
I'm still making it, so I think it's going to be just fine. It is a bit hot and muggy. It was yesterday. It's going to be again today, but we're going to get a little relief from the heat as we roll into the weekend. Live look downtown Pittsburgh. Skies are, at this point, from this perspective, clear for the most part. You can see a few clouds. And we're going to have those partly cloudy skies continue through the morning. MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline. All the folks starting their day out there, and it is, again, going to be hot and muggy, but late tonight, we could get some strong to low-grade severe storms. Now, we have an isolated hail risk, but it is a very narrow corridor here. The greater concern would be with any of the stronger storms, maybe some gusty winds out there, so we'll keep an eye on it. So here's the thing, though. We're going to have storms ahead of the main complex overnight, but we're not anticipating anything significant from them. By noon, isolated, maybe a couple of scattered showers, thunderstorms confined to the western portions of our area. And there comes those storms. Then they die out pretty quickly by about 8. It won't be until after 10 that we'll get a complex of storms. It's going to push in from the north to south, and that's going to bring us that chance for some strong to low-grade severe thunderstorms, which we will cover more in depth with you in a few minutes. 77 in Joplin, 77 in Pittsburgh. Look at all this orange on the map at this time of day. It's a lot of orange. We are all now into the mid to upper 70s out there. We've got Chanute as one of the warmer spots sitting at 79. In fact, Chanute's been at 79 almost all morning long. Low 80s by 9, upper 80s by noon, low 90s for our highs today. Southwest winds gusting to 25, and those heat index values again easily reaching 100 degrees. So make sure you're staying hydrated and taking care of yourself out there. Now, as I mentioned, though, relief from the heat on the way. It does come in the form of rain. We'll go over all of that with you here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, in Christian County, Missouri, yesterday, the sheriff's office and community said goodbye to one of their own. A procession and funeral honored Deputy Sheriff Mike Adams and his wife, Ashley. They died after a head-on crash with a potentially impaired driver, according to the sheriff's office. Adams was an Air Force veteran and previously served in 2 other sheriff offices in Missouri before he and his wife moved to Christian County. He had been a member of the sheriff's office since November of 2022. For his service, Adams received full military honors during his burial. Now, the suspect in that fatal crash is 40-year-old Garrett Cleaver of Webb City. Authorities say Cleaver was fleeing from a traffic stop near Highlandville, Missouri on the night of June 30th when he crossed the center line and hit another car head-on. The 2 people in that other car were Adams, who was off duty at the time, and his wife, Ashley. Both died at the scene. Their infant granddaughter was also injured and hospitalized. She has since been released. Cleaver is now charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder, fleeing a stop resulting in death, and other related crimes. The Christian County Sheriff's Department says Cleaver had a criminal history in multiple states. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Well, it was a big day for Apex Stages in Pittsburgh. The company broke ground yesterday on a $1.7 million expansion that will double its facility size. Now, they build hydraulic mobile stage trailers you see at concerts and festivals, and they have been doing it for more than 20 years. The Pittsburgh Chamber says business is booming for Apex, and this will help them meet demand. The company wants to be up and running by Christmas, and they're already hiring people to fill the new jobs. And some changes are on the horizon for the Joplin Regional Airport. At yesterday morning's airport board meeting, it was revealed the rehabilitation of runway 1331 is expected to be done by mid-October. There's also plans for a new climate-controlled boarding bridge. Also discussed the future of the airport as a whole.
We do want to look forward. We want to see where the community wants to go. Because of course our capacity is as an advisory capacity for the city manager through the Public Works Division of the City Council.
The committee is expected to be formed to work on planning for the future. And those are our top news stories this half hour. Coming up next, the FAA launches a new training program to help address the shortage of air traffic controllers. We'll have the latest. And later, a Texas man spreads a message of hope to those searching for flood victims. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. We'll be right back. But first, here's a live look from the Newton County Fairgrounds in Neosho, Missouri. Well, topping Nation Watch this morning, college students who took out loans under the Biden-era SAVE repayment plan are on the clock again on one kind of payment. Now, the Department of Education said Wednesday it's restarting interest charges on student loans taken out under the Saving on a Valuable Education plan, called SAVE for short. The DOE says it's urging SAVE loan holders to quickly transition to other repayment plans. The Trump administration considers the SAVE plan to have been illegally instituted because it says the Biden administration did not have authority to put borrowers in a zero interest rate status. The Department of Education says it's stopping taxpayer-funded benefits for post-secondary programs for those who do not have legal status in the U.S. The changes correct a President Bill Clinton-era exemption that the Education Department says was erroneously made under a wrong interpretation of a 1996 welfare reform law that allowed for those federal benefits to go to illegal immigrants. Those who have entered the country legally and who meet federal eligibility can still receive those benefits. And as the summer travel season heats up, some Americans are heading to the classroom to learn about how to keep the skies safe. Fox News' Ted Lindner gives us a closer look at the training program.
Busy summer air travel season is surging to new highs. But there have been some bumps along the way. The Federal Aviation Administration says it's in need of more air traffic controllers, down about 3,000 across the country.
We have taken a reduction in force. We absolutely have. I don't think we are doing a reduction in work.
To help address the crisis, the FAA is kicking its technical training program into high gear by preparing students for the real-world demands and responsibilities of the job. First, trainees go through a basics course.
They'll spend 30 days in that, and then they'll move on to their option, whether it's the tower or they'll go to the en route option, which is the radar room.
Depending on which option they choose, students will then go through 40 to 59 days of specialized classroom and simulation training, learning about the map, airspace, and how to communicate with pilots effectively.
Phraseology is one of the most important pieces for safety that we do. It's making sure that the pilot completely understands the instruction that you just gave him.
Students who make it through multiple testing phases successfully will graduate and find a home facility.
One of the 313 facilities that we have around the country.
This as the FAA implements a supercharged hiring initiative.
We'll hit our goal of over 2,000 by mid-September this year.
The nation's air traffic control system is also in need of an update. Congress recently passed a bill that includes $12.5 billion in funding to modernize it.
So the majority of the 12.5 is for the infrastructure, but $100 million of that was slated for training and the technology.
While the job is complex, officials say its challenges are what make it rewarding.
They get on an airplane, they make it to their destination safely. They don't know who got them there, but it's you.
Ted Lindner, Fox News.
And that's a look at some of today's top national stories. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 7:17 now on this Friday morning, and we do have late this evening and overnight the chance for some strong to low-grade severe thunderstorms. No tornado risk areas highlighted, which is good, and we've got an isolated large hail risk just barely clipping us. The greater concern is going to be more so with some isolated damaging wind gusts from some of the stronger storms late tonight. Between here and there, still not a lot of change on the future track from yesterday. By about noon, we'll start to get some isolated to widely scattered showers, maybe even a couple of thunderstorms here in our far western counties between about noon and 8. Then that kind of fizzles out before we reach 10, and we get a complex of showers and thunderstorms. It's pushing in from the north to south, and these again could be strong, potentially severe, at least low-grade severe, as we go through the overnight hours. And future track at this point showing that maybe they try and re-intensify just a bit by early Saturday mornings, about 5 a.m., 4 or 5 a.m. tomorrow. So we'll see how that plays out. But still, if you're heading out this weekend, you're heading out tonight, maybe you're going to go camping, take the RV somewhere, you just want to make sure you've got a way to receive alerts and that you are staying weather aware, because you don't want to be caught in some of those winds. I mean, again, it's an isolated risk, but 60, 65 mile an hour winds versus a tent or an RV, not that safe. By 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, we still got some lingering scattered showers and storms. Those will hang on into the afternoon. We'll get some additional development out there as some of the storms the afternoon and into the early evening hours Saturday could be strong to low-grade severe as well. And then as we head into Sunday, we can find our thunderstorm chances really in the southern, almost just the barely southern half here. But some of those storms Sunday could be strong to low-grade severe. Now, this looks to be an early day threat. It looks like most of what we see Sunday will start wrapping up by about noon or so, but the early morning storms we see could be strong to low-grade severe. Here's a breakdown of tomorrow's risk area. We do have an isolated hail risk across a good portion of the area, and same with that damaging wind risk. And as we head into Sunday, we still have, again, right where future tracks showed those storms, we have that isolated risk, and again, it'd be primarily for large hail or damaging wind gusts with some of those stronger storms. Here's a look from 7th and range line. We've got a few clouds out there. We're going to be partly cloudy through the morning hours, near 80 by 8, mid 80s by 11 o'clock this morning. Our highs today, once again, hot. It's going to be muggy. It's going to be uncomfortable. Low 90s heat index values today could very easily reach 100 degrees again, much like what we saw yesterday. We'll have southwest winds gusting upwards of 25 miles an hour. And of course, those isolated storm chances. As I mentioned, the storm chances remain relatively isolated all the way until about 10:30 tonight, where we'll start to see a few more scattered storms building in. Still mild tonight, falling back in the low 70s. Southwest winds tonight outside of any thunderstorms, gusting upwards of about 20 miles an hour. So here's the deal, though. The rain does help out, and so does the cloud cover, of course. Temperatures falling back below normal into this weekend. So the trade-off is the thunderstorm chances, but we cool back. Now, even though Saturday and Sunday, it's the southern half of our area that's got better rain chances, those of you that may not see much rain this weekend, probably going to be dealing still with the mostly cloudy skies, so that will still help keep your temperatures down. A little warmer, a little closer to normal on Monday. Storm chances start to wrap up. Hot on Tuesday. Then we see more storm chances Wednesday. And right now, the chances, it's kind of iffy, but we do have some chances maybe of some scattered storms in the second half of next week. But either way, temperatures in the second half of next week will drop below normal once again before we heat up by next weekend. That's a check of your forecast. We'll be back with more right after this. In the small river towns that dot the Guadalupe River in Kerr County, Texas, the devastation is everywhere you look in the wake of the catastrophic flooding.
But amid all the destruction are signs of love. Gage Golding is in Hunt, Texas, introducing us to a cowboy who expresses his compassion through a can of paint.
Well, professionally, I'm retired from insurance brokerage and military, etc. My life is, my family's life, my wife and I's life is disaster relief. Those are not good. We go into a community and instead of being first responders, we're first impactors.
Going down the road that connects these now devastated hill country towns, you'll spot little glimpses of hope nestled amongst the ruins of so many lives. Paintings of big red hearts in words like Jesus wept or hearts hurt.
What does heart hurt mean?
Everybody can relate to a hurting heart. It's okay for them for a window of time to weep, to mourn, to say, my heart is broken. It's broken. I don't need more barbecue. I don't need more hand sanitizer. I need my heart fixed.
Dave Graham goes by Cowboy Dave. He's the man behind these inspirational messages. Amidst the pure destruction, he drops signs of hope.
And they drive by their community and they see hell, and then they're like, that's nice. And I'm gone, so it's anonymous. Isn't that great?
He truly is a first impactor. Cowboy Dave has helped heal well over 40 communities around the country struck by natural disasters.
This is the worst thing I've ever seen.
Which is why he's painting a special piece for the hill country.
Broken heart. Well, no, this will be a strong heart.
On a big boulder that the raging Guadalupe River seemingly dropped here last Friday, Cowboy Dave is leaving behind his most recognized creation, a big red heart.
So my whole purpose of what I do is to give someone 15 seconds to drive by and be like, what the heck? Or, that's nice.
What they deserve is a chance to smile again.
Certainly impressive work that he's doing. And sometimes it's those messages. We've talked about that before. There have been so many times where sometimes it's just that message of hope that helps out the most.
Can really make a difference. Absolutely. And coming up, Missouri's governor signs a law repealing the state's sick leave and minimum wage mandate just 8 months after voter approval.
And it was hot and muggy overnight, and it will be hotter and muggier into the afternoon ahead of increasing rain chances. We're going to take a look at all of that when the KOAM Morning News returns.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:29. I'm Elise Snowy. Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe yesterday signed into law a repeal of a voter-approved paid sick leave and minimum wage law. Voters in the Show Me State approved the law just 8 months ago, but the governor, who also signed a package of tax breaks, described the law as an onerous mandate that imposed burdensome record keeping. Now, the sponsor of the worker benefit ballot initiative said, quote, "The governor signing this bill is an absolute betrayal to families who felt forced to go to work instead of staying home to take care or a sick child." A proposed ballot initiative is already in the works that would reinstate the repealed provisions, but would have the additional protections as a constitutional amendment. The Missouri governor also signed a bill into law that encourages college students to report hazing and stay with the victim. Danny Santoli was a student at the University of Missouri in 2021 who became permanently disabled in a hazing incident. This law was enacted so no other college students in Missouri have the same story.
What this law does, essentially, it says that if you witness a hazing incident, and you're the first person to call 911, and you stay on the scene and you answer questions to tell those who are coming to help where you're located, what the situation is, what the trouble is, provide all the information that they ask for. If you stay on the scene and do all of that, you will be immune from criminal prosecution under the state's criminal hazing law.
Colleges like Missouri State University have updated their hazing policies proactively because of Danny's law and have implemented this type of encouraging students to call emergency services without fear of prosecution. Let's head over now to Chris for another look at the forecast.
Yeah, we've got another hot and humid day out there for us, but again, it hasn't been that terrible of a summer so far, and we still have additional breaks from the heat on the way, but we're going to have some days like this where it's going to be uncomfortable. Looks nice though. Our camera downtown Pittsburgh, looking to the south and east, skies are clear, and as we look at the MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line in Joplin looking pretty good as well. Already, if you look at those banners, starting to get some of those gusty winds in there. We also have the chance for some strong to low grade severe thunderstorms as we head into the evening hours or late evening and overnight hours. Right now, no tornado risk areas highlighted, which is good, but we do have at least a sliver of an isolated hail risk, but a slightly wider area where we could get some stronger storms, maybe some gusty winds out there. So our future track hasn't really changed much since yesterday. We're still looking at by noon, from about noon to 7, some isolated, widely scattered showers, maybe a couple of thunderstorms, primarily, as you can see, into our western counties. Then they start to fizzle out, and it'll be after 10 we'll get a complex of storms that rolls in from the north, and that's when we're going to see that window for some strong to potentially low-grade severe thunderstorms out there. But it's going to be overnight tonight. Right now, though, look at Pittsburgh already jumping. 77 Joplin, 79 now in Pittsburgh, and temperatures probably already climbing out there on an uncomfortable day for us, but at least it's Friday, right? We still have some mid-70s out there, but a lot more of us pushing into the upper 70s. And as you can see, a lot of us already getting close to 80 degrees this morning. We'll be into the low 80s by 9, upper 80s by noon, partly cloudy skies, isolated storms again, mainly in our western counties through the afternoon and evening. And while those southwest winds, as we're already seeing, gusting upwards of 25 miles an hour. Now, we do have more storm chances heading into the weekend. We also have additional chances for strong to low-grade severe storms. We'll talk about that and another drop in temperatures next week here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
Chris, thanks. Well, beware of snakes. It's a warning from Joplin's Mercy Hospital. Doctors say they're seeing a rise in venomous snake bites, and that's just since the holiday weekend. While Mercy says summer typically brings 1 or 2 snake bite cases a year, hospital staff have already treated 5 patients. As KOAM's Lonnie Walton reports, one case was so severe it required a transfer to a different facility.
That's one of my passions is wildlife conservation. circulation?
Jessica Little is a Joplin resident. She studied nature in college. She says she loves snakes just as long as they aren't in a dangerous situation.
I leave them alone. I don't like touching nature if it's not necessary. But there's been a couple of times where I've had to move them off of like roads and stuff.
It's an important thing to remember as doctors at Mercy Hospital in Joplin have dealt with an increase in venomous snake bites this year. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Jesse Hatfield says when you're bitten, it shows rather quickly.
It's a venomous bite. It declares itself usually in the first couple of hours, but definitely over the first 8 to 12 hours.
Dr. Hatfield says it doesn't matter what snake bit you, you just need to know if it's venomous. He says there are signs.
The swelling, the redness, the pain, it progresses in a way much different than a non-venomous bite.
Dr. Hatfield says if you're bitten, there are things you should absolutely not do.
Friction devices, no tourniquets, no devices to suck out the poison. I know you can buy them online. Don't do anything to slow circulation. So ice packs are not good. Don't bind the wounds up in any way.
But what should you do?
Immobilize it. So if it's on your arm, put it in a sling. You don't need to wrap it with anything. Just keep it where you're not moving it all around.
And while you keep your distance, still admire the wildlife.
Just like any animal, any other animal in nature, if you leave it alone, it tends to leave you alone. So I don't think there's a reason to be afraid of them.
Reporting in Joplin, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
Now, according to the Missouri Department of Conservation, there are 5 venomous snake species in the state. Copperheads are the most common, but MDC reports cottonmouths and multiple types of rattlesnakes are also in our area. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Shannon Becker joins us with his big 3 stories of the week. We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look from the Newton County Fairgrounds. Well, welcome back. This morning we have Shannon Becker in the studio with his big 3 news stories of the week. Shannon, how are you?
I'm good. Big traffic jam.
Right.
Anybody going I-49 south this morning between Joplin and Neosho. So avoid that. It's going to be hours long.
Absolutely.
It's going to take a long time.
All right.
Let's take a look at the big 3 though right now. All right. This was it in Grove. Could be a federal offense. It was a police pursuit that went onto the Grove Airport runway. I mean, and a plane was landing, and the plane was the pilot said, "Hey, he's over here in this area." So he'd gone off the end of the runway. There was no collision or anything like that. It was a stolen truck out of McDonald County.
Wow.
There was a female that was taken into custody in that pickup truck. The male is still at large. There are some warrants for his arrest. They have not released his name.
Okay.
Our number 2 story, KOAM News Now. Stolen car fleeing the cops in Webb City. You see that vehicle there, Jeep Cherokee, and then hits a pole. Doink.
Wow.
Yeah. Hit that utility pole, knocked some power out to some
Yes.
people. This was earlier in the week. That vehicle fled Webb City and then all the way down Range Line. Did you see some of this?
Look at that.
There he is, the man facing multiple charges. And we're
Okay.
talking about some serious charges.
Right.
In all, I think there were 8. Most of them are felonies. Assault on an officer. He swerved to hit 2 different officers. He did hit a 3rd officer. So that's a certain kind of offense. Yeah.
Especially in that busy street.
Yeah, he's known to law enforcement and even us. I've heard of who he is before. You can read more about it on our website, KOAM News Now. And then a tragedy is our number 1 story. A pickup truck overturns into a tree, and a Carthage teen dies in Dunaweg earlier this week.
Heartbreaking.
Heartbreaking, tragic. The list goes on and on. This young man just graduated from Carthage High School, 2025. All of his friends, the night of when he had passed away, they all gathered there where he had died on that road, talking, sharing, and also doing burnouts, which is, a kid thing, which I'm not really that familiar with, but
no, neither am I.
They
but
shared
still,
some time together, and it's still a time of healing. I know Carthage schools have counselors available, and so if kids need to talk, or even parents or anybody in the community. Our bonus story, this is a fun one. I'm looking forward to the weekend at Wolf Creek, the Wolf Creek Nationals in Grove. Now, these are drag boats. Have you ever heard of this? Like 200 miles an hour.
I can't believe it. It sounds
insane.
amazing.
So you can check it out. Just buy your ticket when you get there. You just go into Wolf Creek. It's a little swimming area. Look how fast he takes off.
Oh, wow.
Look at that.
That must be so cool to see in person.
So we're talking like this is the premiere. You want to check it out. Tonight, it's a meet and greet with, you can see the boats up close. You can meet all the racers and stuff like that. That's downtown in Grove, starting at 5. And then Saturday and Sunday, both all-day racing on Grand Lake of the Cherokees. It'll be fun.
Lovely. Absolutely.
It's our bonus.
There you go. Well, Shannon, as always, thank you so much for being with us this morning. Happy to have you as always. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 7:43 now on this Friday morning. And as mentioned earlier, after 10 tonight, we do have a chance for some strong to low-grade severe thunderstorms. We have just a narrow area of an isolated hail risk. The bigger area is this isolated damaging wind risk. So some of the storms could get a little strong, could produce some gusty winds out there as we go overnight tonight. So here's what we're looking at on the future track. By noon, we're going to see some isolated to widely scattered shower storms, again, really confined to our far western counties initially from about noon to 8, say. And then this will kind of begin to fizzle out. And then after 10, we'll get a thunderstorm complex. Now, up to our north, there's a slightly higher, it's a level 2 out of 5 risk up to our north for some strong to severe thunderstorms. We'll be getting in on those storms as they begin to sink to the south. Could still be on the strong side, but they'll be in kind of a decaying state as the evening progresses. But we'll have those storms push through. Now, future track, though, early tomorrow morning says that maybe some of the storms try and re-intensify across southeast Kansas, southwest Missouri as they sink south. So we'll keep a close eye on it for you. It may or may not re-intensify quite like this, but this is Saturday, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. And again, the storms could still be strong to low-grade severe. Then through the day, we'll have isolated to scattered storms mainly in this zone here and points southeast. Some of those could be strong to low-grade severe as well. They will get a break late evening, and then early Sunday morning, another round of showers and storms begins pushing up from the south, and some of these could be strong to low-grade severe as well. These ones, though, expected to remain fairly well confined, and by noon or so, they begin to fizzle out. You see, they try and lift north of I-44. They don't make it very far before they begin to die out. All right, tomorrow's risk, no tornado areas highlighted, which is, again, good news, but we do have the isolated hail and damaging wind risk out there. So the big thing I want to emphasize, especially tonight into this weekend, is if you're heading out, maybe you're camping tonight, taking the RV out tonight or this weekend, you want to make sure you're paying close attention to the weather. Get the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Keep it handy because even just a couple of storms, 60, 65 mile an hour winds versus a tent or an RV, not necessarily a good place to be. On top of that, there's going to be the lightning, which is dangerous and deadly on its own. And so you just want to make sure you're paying close attention. And maybe you're not staying the night anywhere, but if you're going to the pool, the lake, the creek, when thunder roars, head indoors. You don't want to be caught in that. Our risk, again, continues into Sunday, but as Future Track showed, you can also see where that risk remains confined, where those storms are expected to lift north and then begin to die out there. And the one decent thing is all of these risk areas we have are a level 1 out of 5. So that means the risk it's lower, it's isolated, but it's still not 0. So that's why you want to make sure you're paying close attention to the weather. We got a few clouds out there. We're looking at partly cloudy skies for most of today. We'll be into the upper 70s, near 80 by 8 this morning, mid 80s by 11 a.m. As we head into the afternoon, it's hot and muggy. And again, remember, these isolated storms really confined to our western counties. Most of us will just be partly cloudy and miserable. Low 90s. Heat index values today, again, approaching 100. So make sure you're taking precautions. At southwest winds, occasionally gusting to 25. Again, initially west, isolated storms to our west. By 10, they'll start increasing a little in coverage. Scattered storms overnight. Low 70s. Southwest winds still gusting to 20. Temperatures, though, this weekend fall back below average. Even if you're not necessarily getting the rain this weekend, probably still get the cloud cover from storms to your south, so you should be a little cooler. Near normal again on Monday, hot and miserable and muggy on Tuesday. More storm chances Wednesday, and Wednesday through at least Friday, temperatures fall back below average again into the mid 80s out there before we heat up once again by next weekend. Let's check your forecast. We're back with more right after this.
Well, a summer program is benefiting kids, seniors, and dogs.
Possum Partners trains future service dogs with the help of elementary school students, giving both the opportunity to bond with older adults.
Adam Mueller has the details.
Dorothy O'Connor was looking for a way to mix her passions.
I credit my mom for my love of working with older people, and as I got into teaching, I shared that with my students as well as my love for dogs.
And she found it. Possum Partners brings summer school students to the Adult Day Center for learning about everything canine.
Each day we usually have a special guest, and a groomer, a canine officer, a search and rescue person.
She's also volunteering to raise Moffat, a future leader dog for the blind, and her students lend a hand.
How are you today?
Like making sure they need to go to the bathroom, making sure there's water and food and that kind of stuff. Petting with them, snuggling them, just having just some fun and snuggling and everything.
We were trying to distract the dogs, so if when they're leading the people around, then if there was a squirrel walking by, then it wouldn't bark at it and jump up at it and knock the person down.
It's all to help Moffat ace her seeing eye dog test in a year.
Moffat is my buddy.
If they pass, it makes me feel that, oh, I did a good job helping.
And help bridge that generational gap.
Dogs just bring the best out in all of us. People partnering to show that we all have a purpose and have value.
They're in week 3 of a 4-week program, and next week they're going to make treats.
Very cool program.
Those dogs are adorable.
They are.
Even
and it's
the
a great
stuffed
way,
ones.
Even the stuffed ones. Which for a second I thought that one was a real one. I was like, oh my gosh, that poor dog. It wasn't, thankfully. So a lot of great learning possibilities there. And we have the possibility of some strong to low-grade severe thunderstorms as we head overnight tonight, really after 10. We have a very narrow corridor of an isolated hail risk up there, and we have the isolated risk for some damaging wind gusts. So by noon, again, isolated to widely scattered showers and storms, mainly confined in our far western counties through about 8 o'clock. So you can see where they are here by 7. By 8, they die out. And then up to our north is a level 2 out of 5 risk for some severe thunderstorms. And those will be coming our way, but they'll be in a weakening state to some degree. That's why we have the level 1 out of 5 risk for us. These will push through again after 10 o'clock. Here we are at 2 a.m. And future tracks suggesting by about 3 or 4, right about here-ish, they try and re-intensify a bit. So we'll see what happens exactly. But one way or the other, they definitely, could bring the large hail chances and some damaging wind gusts. So if you've got plans for the weekend, you're heading out tonight, again, just keep an eye on the weather. Keep the KOAM Skywatch weather app handy. You'll want to do so through the whole weekend. Strong, low-grade severe thunderstorms possible again in this zone, in the southeastern, say 2/3 of our area, Saturday afternoon. Then overnight, we will clear out briefly from the rain, and then Sunday early, between about 5 a.m. and noon, we could get another round of strong to low-grade severe thunderstorms pushing through. But again, by about noon, they make it just barely north of I-44, and then they begin to die out. We'll have another look at your forecast, plus your wake-up recap right after this.
This is your Wake Up Recap for July 11th. The top stories to start your day. Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe signed into law a repeal of a voter-approved paid sick leave and minimum wage law. The law was just approved 8 months ago, but the governor described the law as, quote, an erroneous mandate that imposed burdensome record keeping. A proposed ballot initiative is already in the works that would reinstate the repealed provisions, but would have the additional protections as a constitutional amendment. The Missouri governor also signed a bill into law that encourages college students to report hazing and to stay with the victim. This law was enacted after Danny Santoli of the University of Missouri became permanently disabled in a hazing incident. Many colleges across the country have updated their hazing policies proactively because of Danny's law. And a ribbon-cutting ceremony celebrates a new housing addition in Carthage. According to the Carthage Chamber of Commerce, these developments highlight the recent boom in Carthage. With that boom, housing has become more needed, with the recent housing study showing hundreds of more homes will be needed in future years in the city. That's a check of today's Wake Up Recap.
And we've got another hot and muggy day. Low 90s out there. Heat index values up to 100. Isolated storms in our western counties from about noon until 8. Southwest winds gusting to 25. Then after 10 o'clock tonight, more scattered storms from a complex up to the north. Some could be strong, low-grade severe with hail and wind is the primary concern. Back in low 70s. And we'll have that strong to low-grade severe risk through the weekend with additional scattered storms and temperatures falling a bit below normal this weekend as well, and maybe even another round of below normal temperatures next week.
Alrighty. Well, the Joplin Police Department turned up the vibes and cooled things down with their second summer block party at Schiffer-Decker Pool. From 4 to 6 yesterday evening, families soaked up free swimming and devoured hot dogs while kids had a blast checking out emergency vehicles and jumping into fun activities.
And of course, it was the perfect way to chill out, hang with the community, and meet some real-life heroes. Joplin Police Department plans to hold their next free swim pool party night on August the 8th. And these things are always a lot of fun. It's great to get out there and see the first responders. And they love seeing the folks too. Yes. I know that they do. Well, thank you all so much for joining us this morning. Remember, stay cool out there. We'll be back with more news and weather at noon.
Have a great rest of your morning.